Hi guys, it's Sarah from Sarah's Theories, and I am back after a whole week of being gone for God knows how long. I'm finally back to my normal um video schedule, and I'll be doing more videos from now on. So yeah, today I'm starting a new thing on my channel called movie theories. And I'm not a critic when it comes to movie theories, but I am just loving movies nowadays. Today I want to talk about the first movie review I want to do today is Once Upon a Time. Now, you probably all love this TV show, and I do too. So, I just want to talk about Once Upon a Time. Really, the entire season, I started watching this in 2011, really, and I loved it. It was a really good TV show to watch, and people used to think this was amazing. So I do think it too. I want to talk about mostly the cast, the crew, and the TV seasons from the progression from season 1 up till season 7. Recently, I just thought of doing this thing because I was thinking over the break I had to do something new for my channel besides theories. So I decided that I would do something like these movie theory videos. So I hope that you all can see what I can see. And I hope you all really do enjoy watching my videos because it actually helps me grow my channel. And I will do a thank you video for you all for all 30 subscribers to my channel. And I really hope that we can like more videos and subscribe. And I will talk about many other things during this video, which I may get sidetracked, but really, I don't want to. So, what I want to talk about first is Once Upon a Time really has a lot going for it. I really do love it. Basically, let's talk about season 1. Now, season 1 Once Upon a Time was my kind of least favorite at the time, right now, but as of today, it just is not my all-time favorite as it used to be. But it is my all-time favorite now that I'm watching it. So really, guys, it shows a lot for the channel, and really the TV series is an amazing. Basically, Once Upon a Time is owned by, if you didn't know, Disney already owns ABC, and so I can understand why Disney would put up Once Upon a Time in 2011, but it really has a lot going for it. I love Once Upon a Time, I really do. Basically, season 1 is just where basically we see the fairy tale characters like Snow White and the Evil Queen and Prince Charming and all the other fairy tale characters. When I started watching this TV show, I got kind of confused of the entire TV series. It kind of confused me a little bit when I first watched this. I really wasn't that intrigued. But then I started watching it often, and then, well, it just started getting a lot better. And I really just wanted to I really just want to say that the TV series itself has a really good reputation. Season 1 really didn't have a lot of things that I loved about the TV series in general. But really, I gotta say, the TV series itself doesn't say much. And basically, for Once Upon a Time, I just need to say that it was not so bad. Um, Now, season one basically just shows basically it's just showing a lot of cool new things going for it. Sorry about darkness, guys. I'm gonna keep talking. So let's continue with season one. Season one, I gotta say, was kind of my favorite. It all started with Henry like going up to his mom, meeting his mom in the first place. And technically, Jennifer Morrison did a really good job as Emma Swan. Once Upon a Time really has the best thing about it is basically the characters, the outfits, and the book itself. If you don't know about the book, guys, the book was the book was the best thing that set the TV show off and really did a lot for the TV series itself. I really love the book. I would love for the Once Upon a Time book to ever come into play again. It really does a lot for it. Now, season one really didn't have much going for it except for like bringing Emma Swan to town and Henry and her getting along and Henry eating that poison apple and really not saying much for the cast members, really. Um, So, season one really wasn't that bad. Now, season two really had more going for it, especially for the characters. The characters really were progressing after a while, and we see that they get a little bit older. Now, season two, I think, had more to do with Regina, the Evil Queen's mother, and Cora, I think, yeah. And we saw a lot about season two. Basically, the curse was broken. People were coming after the Evil Queen for what she did. And sure, there were a lot of villains during this time. And of course, the story still progresses, though. I do love the story. I loved Once Upon a Time for only one reason, the twists and turns. Mostly because Once Upon a Time did not even stick to the story itself. They didn't stick to the regular like fairy tales. They switched them up. They made new fairy tale characters meet with other fairy tale characters. They like did all this and that. They switched up the stories, and that was the best part about the entire TV series, is that they didn't stick to the regular fairy tales. Like you did not expect Snow White to be a freaking hunter and all that stuff, and the evil queen to hold a grudge against her for a long time, all because of one little thing. And true enough, guys, that's something that just Regina had to literally just worry about. But I really gotta say, the twists and turns of this entire TV series is what made me want to watch it even more. And I did love it more. Season two was probably, if it wasn't for season one, really, if the story didn't have its twists and turns, this TV series wouldn't have lasted this long, and people probably wouldn't have loved it, and people were blowing up on Twitter how much they loved Once Upon a Time. And I do love the show. I really do. I'll get to my problems about the TV series in a minute, but right now let's talk about seasons one, two, and now we're on number three. Number three, number three was really my all time fave, was my second favorite season out of this entire TV show. Mostly because it just had a lot of better time. Like it made me like love this TV show and more, even more. Season three actually gave a lot more characters into it. Like everything about this entire show basically shows more new characters, more new progression, and lots of new ways of magic and power and new shows and new things. Once Upon a Time really hit the TV show, and mostly people saying that the ratings for this TV show went up for a long time. But let's talk about season three. Basically, we're introduced to a lot of to at least a few new characters in season three. Like we're introduced to, I think two new villains in the TV series. Yes, we're introduced to two new villains in Once Upon a Time. season 3. We're introduced into the next villains. So we're introduced to the first villain, which is Peter Pan. And yes, Peter Pan, I know this, like I said, this TV series doesn't stick to the regular fairy tale stories we all read from Disney growing up as a kid. And most of us have never even seen the TV series. So I recommend you guys go watch the TV series or watch some seasons before watching this video. Because if you didn't watch any of the seasons, you might not know what I'm talking about. So yeah, let me just up this, make it a little bit bigger for you guys to see. Yeah, and there we go. So, yeah, I'm sorry guys. I just got back from like a little bit of a hiatus for myself, like thinking about what new stuff I want to do for my channel and stuff like that. That's probably why I wasn't really uploading as many theory videos as many, because I was thinking of like a new thing I could do for my channel. I'm gonna try to do gameplays in the future, because I want to do some like game videos. Like I know that there are some YouTubers out there who have done like some video games, and they have their face on there and all that stuff. I'm gonna try to do, if I can try to do my Sims 4 game, but right now my Sims 4 game is really messing up with me. It's really messing with me right now. So I won't probably do that for a while. Maybe Sims 3. I'll try to find University for the disc that I need for like uploading the game itself. Sims 2, definitely. I'll try to do some more custom content on there so I can do some more videos. So I can do some videos on there. But right now I just don't know how to like make game parts of the video. Like I have OBS Studios. If you guys have any YouTubers who use OBS Studios for their videos, to make videos and for their games and stuff like that, do you have any advice on how to use the game part, like displaying the capture stuff? If you guys have any advice or know how to use OBS Studios for like game purposes, like to like upload the game, do I just leave OBS Studios running and like it just shows the game on the computer because I can't see it from back and forth? Like that would be kind of annoying. So I just need to know how to do that. But until then, I'll just like until I learn how to use my OBS Studios, I'm just gonna like leave it at that. But yeah, guys, let's get back to season 3. In season 3, basically, we see that Henry has been captured by Peter Pan, and that's just the worst thing about it, is that Peter Pan is the villain of this entire story. Season 3 was probably the best, like the peak of where Once Upon a Time, like almost near peaked. And really, it says a lot. We are introduced to new lands, new characters, but really, it's most of the time season 5 that really introduces a new line of characters and a new realm. So I'm not gonna spoil it for you yet. Let's just stick to season 3. So basically, we find out that Peter Pan is actually Rumpelstiltskin's father, but he chose youth over his own son, which actually was a very stupid, dumb idea. And did a lot of things he does not regret. Peter Pan was soon defeated, and then we are introduced to the next villain of the Once Upon a Time season 3 series, which is Zelena, the Wicked Witch of the West. And yes, we're introduced to Oz and its characters. Like I said, the story, this entire TV series, does not stick to any book or movie or any fairy tale that you've heard of as a kid. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't, and this TV show is its own self. Like there's only one story in one season that I know that actually stuck to the premise of the entire story from the movie itself. I won't spoil it for you, but it's one of the seasons. So basically, if you don't know, if you never watched Once Upon a Time, or you did and you didn't catch up to season 3, midway season 3, after Peter Pan's long gone and they're back in the Enchanted Forest, or no, they're back in Storybrooke. Basically, Zelena is Regina's sister because they share the same mother, not the same father. And what happens is Zelena is so envious of her sister Regina for getting everything that she deserved from her mother. But apparently Zelina's mother abandoned her as a child and literally was not having it. So really, you gotta say that Zelina is pretty cool. And I admit that she and Regina did not get along for a long time. She even disguised herself as Marion the entire after she literally died, season 3, in the time travel part of this series, which should actually, I was about to say time travel wasn't a thing in Once Upon a Time, but it is in the last few episodes of season 3. And then we see Zelina, like, she took the form of Marion, and she basically just took away her sister's happily ever after. So, yeah, guys, I gotta say, season 3 had a lot going for it, and I did love everything about it, and it was my second favorite season of Once Upon a Time, but my first favorite season is the next one to come. But really, I love season 3, and it really has a lot going for it. And I really think that bringing the Wicked Witch of the West into the story was the best thing that ever happened, because I loved it, and maybe you guys did too. Let me know what you think down in the comment section. If you all love Once Upon a Time, hashtag Captain Swan, and everybody kept doing that for years. For a whole flipping year on Twitter, people saying Captain Swan. But we're not at that season yet. So let's go on to the next season, which is season 4. Oh my gosh, my favorite season. Season 4 was the best season I ever had, I ever loved, and I will never ever stop loving. Season 4 was the best one yet. It brought in the Frozen franchise into the mix. Frozen was the main thing, was actually the main card for season 4. And technically, guys, I gotta talk about this one more than the other seasons, because, well, season 4 actually brought in more characters than you think. And the Frozen part of this, get it? Frozen part of it. I'm sorry for the bad jokes, guys. Basically, all this stuff about Frozen in season 4 was amazing. They basically just cracked the Frozen 2 thing, if I say so myself. Because if you think about it, if you ever watched like season 4 of Once Upon a Time and you know the entire story of Anna and Elsa, you guys can tell that we see a lot of backstory to their parents and what Anna and Elsa's mother was like, and that she had 2 sisters, and how Anna and Elsa are fighting against Hans and literally are trying to get back to each other. I gotta say, I want to talk about the characters of the Frozen part of Once Upon a Time, because I really did like that. It was, according to Once Upon a Time, when I was reading at the time when season 4 was about to come out, people were saying they were having a hard time finding someone who looked, talked like the Frozen characters from the movie. Now, this requirement is, they only probably enforce this requirement because people love Frozen, so many kids and teenagers and some people actually love Frozen a lot. So they had to literally, this was a big one for the directors of Frozen, I mean Once Upon a Time. And literally they had to find somebody who looked, talked, and even acted like the characters from the movie and would actually fit the bill, so that many fans don't get upset about that, saying, oh, this person doesn't look like Anna, this girl definitely doesn't look like Elsa. So basically, this is the requirement. This is basically, they enforced that little requirement for only like the Frozen part of season 4. And I guess they enforced that only on a few more characters, but also because they didn't fit the bill. They didn't enforce that on the Wicked Witch of the West or Peter Pan, because basically their animated form can be like any person they want. And Once Upon a Time, like I said, can be whatever it wants to be, so it doesn't really matter. But also because like, this is a requirement at Disney parks as well. Like for Disney princesses, when they're in animated form, any girl who looks, talks like them, or even acts like them can become a Disney princess and work at the park. That's basically a requirement for Disney parks, as it is for this Frozen part of Once Upon a Time. And it really is like saying a lot about the TV series itself, that Disney Parks basically Once Upon a Time is owned by Disney, so they're owned by ABC, which is owned by Disney, which would explain why they had to find somebody who looked just like Anna and Elsa. And really, guys, I gotta say, even though like they do this at Disney parks, like finding the perfect girl who acts like the princess, looks like the princess, because in animated form, Disney princess can be any person who looks like them and work at Disney parks. So yeah, but basically they only probably enforce this for a few more characters in seasons 4, 5, maybe 6. So yeah. But let's talk about Elsa. Okay, the girl who plays Elsa in I forgot their names. I really have, but the girl who plays Elsa looks just like her. If you put a side by side comparison of Elsa from the movie Frozen and from Once Upon a Time, the resemblance is kind of uncanny. The light white blonde hair is really good. The dress could have been done a bit better. I did love the off shoulder like part of the dress, and the dress was amazing. Like it probably took them a while to make that. Not as long as it took the animators to make the dress for Frozen in the movie Frozen. But yeah, the dress could have done a lot better. And I know guys, like she wasn't wearing high heels, but then again, she couldn't have done all that running and walking in high heels all day. If I was Elsa, even in the TV show, as her character, if I had to wear high heels all the time, that for like almost maybe 10 episodes, I would be very uncomfortable too. And there's no change of clothes? Oh, yes. Definitely wear flippin' flats. Now, Anna is a great case. The girl who plays Anna in Once Upon a Time is very, very perfect for the role. She definitely has the voice of Anna down, and she looks just like Anna from Frozen instantly. Literally, if you look a side by side comparison, if you guys have photos at home or you just go to Google, put a side by side comparison of the girl from Frozen who played Anna, and put Anna from Frozen next to each other. You can clearly see the resemblance there. The hair is perfect. Her braids fit perfectly to Anna's. Her facial structure looks just like Anna's, and she talks like Anna would if she was a real life character in a TV series. So yes, guys, I really think that these two girls perfectly fit the bill for Anna and Elsa. Now, the two other characters that I want to talk about. Now, Sven wasn't a problem because they could just get any kind of moose they want. Now, Kristoff was a big case for most people, probably, and probably because the first fact, he doesn't have his long blonde hair. Well, the animators of Frozen obviously wanted to make him have long hair because, one, he lived in a barn, and two, he looked much cuter with long blonde hair in animated form. But now, the guy who looks like Kristoff, he does kind of look like Logan Paul to me. He kind of does. Just a little bit. Maybe he is Logan Paul in disguise. You never know, guys. But yeah, his hair sure was cut. But Anna did say, she did say he even cut his hair. Because if you guys remember in Once Upon a Time, Frozen, if you all seen season 4, again, guys, I recommend go watching the TV show first. Watch all the seasons from 1 through 6 first before doing any of this. And guys, I probably think you all saying right now to yourselves, if any of you watching the video, this is a TV show, not a movie. I know that, guys, but TV review doesn't sound good as movie review, and most of these are going to be TV shows and movies and books that are made into movies. So yes, guys, I know, but it's a really good TV show, and I wanted to do that one first because it's really good and I love it. So yeah. But yeah, I know, guys, because if you remember in season 4, Anna and Chris, it was actually if any one of you watch any videos about theories of Frozen, you remember that Elsa's coronation was 3 years later after their parents' death, and that's the years that 3 years later is when she ran away from home. And so we click over to 5 in Once Upon a Time. You click over to 5 years later. which is 5 years after her parents' death, and 3 years after, and only 2 years after Elsa's coronation and becoming queen and Anna getting her sister back. So basically, the movie Frozen happened 2 years ago when the events of Once Upon a Time, when Frozen and Once Upon a Time take place. So yeah, guys, I gotta say, that is so weird. But yeah, guys, apparently Anna and Kristoff have been dating for 2 years after the events of Frozen and are officially engaged in the TV series. Basically, Once Upon a Time's part where in Frozen is basically like a perfect Frozen 2, if I say so myself. Just cut out all the other characters and basically you have your Frozen 2 right there, directors. But and I gotta say, that's my favorite Frozen 2, like, Anna and Elsa fighting, a whole adventure and everything like that. Sure, the whole story kind of revolves around other fairy tale characters besides the Frozen franchise, and none of these characters would be involved in, like especially Snow White. She lives in another universe. Frozen is in a different universe than they are. By the way, but yeah, Anna clearly says that Kristoff cut his hair, and obviously if I know anything about weddings, men cut their hair for their wedding day. So, yeah, I don't have a problem with Kristoff's look. He does look like he would if he was in the movie. He does talk like he would, and he fits the costume really well. Now, the hardest character that they had to find for the Frozen part of this franchise is basically Hans. I heard it on the news, and I was like reading it, and I was like, oh my gosh. Who are they going to find who's going to have perfect red hair and sideburns and literally look and talk like Hans would from the movie? So they did find a guy, and he looked just like Hans would. Seriously, these characters are perfect. I'm starting to think they really are the voice actors for the movie Frozen, but no, they're not. They're not, guys, if that's what you all were thinking. They're not the characters, no. But, they're not the voice actors, no. But they actually look like they would be the characters from the movie if they came into the real world. Oh my gosh, it was so amazing to see these characters in real life. And the new characters that were put into the Frozen franchise, like Ingrid, who is Anna and Elsa's aunt on their mother's side, and really a lot of new characters in the backstory of Anna and Elsa's mother is really amazing too. That actually gives us more insight to the past of Arendelle, and that Elsa wasn't the only one born with these powers. And that Ingrid was gifted with the powers of ice and snow too, and that was amazing. The whole backstory of the Frozen part of season 4 was pretty good. Also, the best part was the next part after Anna and Elsa literally leave Storybrooke, and Anna and Elsa celebrate her wedding. They're literally going out on her wedding day and enjoying themselves. Like, after Frozen's literally ended in season 4, and Anna and Elsa and Kristoff and Hans are literally out of the picture, we are entering into a new phase of the new villains, which is, like I said, for Frozen, Maleficent is basically Maleficent, Cruella de Vil, and Ursula, or the Sea Witch as you want to call her. And we see them appear after Elsa and Anna are literally gone, and Rumpelstiltskin's been banished, and they literally come into Storybrooke. So, yeah, this is, like I said, for the Frozen thing, where the looks apply to another piece of the characters, they actually do apply to, Maleficent, and I think Cruella de Vil. Ursula can be posed as any woman as ever. It's like the other characters most of the time, because we never know what most of the characters would look like if they were young or old or whatever. Now, the girl who plays Belle is really an interesting case, and yes, she looks perfect. But yeah, this only applies to, like, most of the characters. I'd say the woman who plays Maleficent, yeah, it applies to her too, and definitely to Cruella de Vil. Props to the woman who played Cruella de Vil. I know she's not going to watch this, but it's still amazing to see this TV series. So, we stuck a lot on season 4, which is my number 1 favorite season. Now, season 5 is when basically the villains, some of them live happily ever after, some of them are literally dead or gone or left, and we enter the era of season 5. Season 5 is probably the best. It's probably one of the best. Like, this is where Dark Swan comes into play, basically for Emma, who was taking the place of the Dark One, and literally after Skin nearly is dead. Sorry. Emma's like ready to fight back. She's literally taking the place of the Dark One, and now skip past season 4 and we're into season 5. And Emma, we are into the era of Camelot. Basically, we see Camelot as this most beautiful place in the world. And if any of you have ever read in high school King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table, yeah. But first, guys, I want to show you guys something that I found on the internet, which is the timelines in the family tree of Once Upon a Time, starting from, like, I guess the beginning of the episodes till now. And may I say, Emma and Regina have the biggest amounts of love or interest ever. I know it may seem confusing, guys, but this really is an amazing timeline for a family tree of like villains and people falling in love, marriages, engagements that happen but never really happen. And you could thank David Ryan Anderson for this family tree picture. And I gotta say, that really is really accurate when you think about it. Some of it's a little bit off, but also very accurate. But yeah, guys, season 5 really, that's what I was saying. Season 5 was when when we see Camelot. We see Merlin, King Arthur, unless you guys missed this in freaking, you weren't paying attention in high school, or they didn't teach you this in high school, or you didn't read it in the library, or you weren't interested in watching the movie King Arthur. But, basically, we see that Emma and the others are literally in Camelot. Emma ends up, and this is where we meet in season 5. We meet our new addition to the Once Upon a Time franchise, Merida. And if you all don't remember Pixar's Brave, Merida was Princess of Dunbrook, but now she's going to become queen. And apparently her father died in this universe, and she's now going to be queen. But if she doesn't return like the helmet or goblet or whatever to the witch, which her father paid off to literally get the goblet for, she literally all of her kingdom will be turned to bears. And apparently she tried one time, when a war happened, she was trying to save her father, but she missed, and she blamed herself for getting her father killed. And apparently we find out it was King Arthur who killed him. So yeah, Merida is not the best. And when she first encounters Emma, it's not really the best pleasant of like beginnings of meetings or whatever. But yeah, guys, seriously, it's like really, really not a happy ending for anybody. But most of all, I gotta say that Once Upon a Time, season 5 really gave us more like fighting and action and magic and everything like that. Like, we see like all these characters like fighting for each other and fighting against each other, and literally like trying to get a lot going for them. What happens is that in season 5 we do find out that Hook is nearly on the verge of dying because of he was struck by what's that sword in the Camelot history? The Sword in the Stone. I'm thinking, guys. I'm thinking. Oh my gosh. King Arthur pulls the sword from the stone. I can't remember what that sword was called. I don't know, Archeon. I'm thinking Archeon, but it's not. Ordon. No, that's from Descendants. No. And besides, guys, Descendants has nothing to do Once Upon a Time because it's not as accurate as this entire, like I said, this story is what it wants to be, whatever it wants to be. And unlike them, Descendants stick to the Disney character versions of literally all of them. And I've seen one character in too many other movies and TV shows, and which is the Blue Fairy. If you didn't know, she basically is Belle in Descendants, if you already know that. Like I said, Once Upon a Time is owned by Disney, It's owned by ABC, which is owned by Disney, so it wouldn't be really surprising if she just showed up in Disney TV movies. Disney Channel TV movies. So yeah. Excalibur, that's what I'm thinking about. Okay, so yeah, basically Captain Hook was basically struck by Excalibur, and literally was literally struck down, and literally he's on the verge of dying because of it. And if Emma was to cleave herself from the dagger, it would mean that Hook would die, and she wasn't allowing that. So she realized that what she had to do was that she and him both had become the Dark One. And when Hook finally realizes this, he's not happy about it, and he literally wants to hurt Emma and the ones he loves. She loves all that most and better. And finally, when he finally can't come to do it, and literally realizes that he can't kill them all, he kills himself. And this ends up in I think them going to the underworld in season 5. And basically in the underworld we see that we meet Hades, and we meet the Disney movie that everyone can't seem to forget, which is Hercules. And we meet Megara, and we meet all the characters from Greek mythology. We even meet the people that died in many other seasons before, like Cora, Peter Pan, and Cruella de Vil. So yeah, but really, what happens is basically they try to bring Hook back from the dead. Season 5, I gotta say, kind of was much better than season 2 or 1, because it didn't have much of the action sequence we all wanted. Probably it probably had a little bit of action, but not that big of an action. And season 5, I gotta say, really did much better. They do eventually bring Hook back from the dead, and he does come back, and King Arthur dies, unfortunately, and has to learn to move on and literally have unfinished business as much as he can. And then we see Hades come back from the dead, who kills Robin in the process of him trying to save Regina, and literally Zelina ends up killing him too, with this whole lightning bolt, I think. And because because Hook returned it, Zeus grants him his life back. And because of that, well, Emma's happy and everything else is back to normal. But then everything goes a little fishy in season 6. Season 6 is probably the best of the best, and probably the end of Storybook a little bit. You would think that the series would have ended there, but as someone once said, leave the past and all its scars. A happy beginning now is ours. That's a rhyme from the musical that was in season 6, and I will get to that in a minute, guys. Okay, so basically season 6, we go to an alternate world of other characters from other books that are not fairy tales, but also they're also various people who really do love these other stories, like the Three Musketeers, or Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and many others. So basically what happens is we find out that we meet Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and we find out that their story is really mixed up in this alternate world, and Snow, Zelina, and Charming, and Hook, they're all trapped in this alternate world, and literally they try to find a way out. I think this happened in season 5, but I can't really remember, guys. But really, it really says a lot about the TV series when you bring in these new characters. We do meet a lot of other people, apparently in season 6, or maybe end of near season 5, we do find out that we see alternate realities in different places, gone beyond everything else like that. So what happens is what actually ends up happening is that they do find a way out, and they do split Miss Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde away from each other. But it turns out that even if you relieve the darkness from yourself, there's still going to be darkness inside you. So we do find out eventually that Regina they do take Dr. Jekyll back to their world, back to their little place back home. I guess in New York City, because they were in New York City when they first thing. And I guess the end of season 5 or 6, because we do know that the evil queen does survive, and they do get the storybook eventually, and they and what we find out is that Regina, before they left, Regina uses the last of the serum to split herself in two, the evil side of her and the good side of her. And basically, the evil side of her, which is the evil queen, basically wants revenge. And after she thinks she destroyed Regina, she destroyed the evil queen, they actually leave and she feels better about herself. So, yeah. But what ends up happening at the end of, this is definitely at the end of season 5, it has to be. What happens at the end of season 5 is that the evil queen does come back. And basically everything is going to be turning turmoil in season 6. And whatever that's happening is that the evil queen, we do find out that she ends up trying almost controlling all of Storybook, and she literally uses like a genie, because apparently we do meet new characters like Jasmine and Aladdin who come into play in season 6, and we end up finding out that in season 6, there was actually one part in, I think, season 5 that ended in or maybe it was season 4, because it ended in Henry trying to find his family and getting back. Yeah, it had to be the end of season 4, because yeah, it was the end of season 4 that when Henry was trying to find out how to get the heroes who turned into villains and the villains turned into heroes back to where they came from, back in Storybook. And basically what ends up happening is that basically in season 6 we do see that we do meet Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, we do meet Jasmine and Aladdin, and it turned out Jafar is then, we do find out that Jafar, soon after he's been presented as a genie in another spin-off part of Once Upon a Time, he's defeated by Ariel, who actually realizes that when Eric is gone, she and her friends and her try to take it out. And during season 6, we do meet Jasmine, and her and Emma don't get off on the right foot at first, but then they actually do, and she tries to find a way to actually help Aladdin. And we do find out that he's imprisoned by the evil queen after she literally takes the freaking lamp away from her and makes a wish on Emma and sends her to an alternate reality where her parents and her defeat the evil queen for good and she's dead, and that her parents and her grow old together in the enchanted forest. She actually was married to Neil and had Henry, apparently. And this alternate reality is a world where heroes are alive and well and literally happy. And Emma's a princess. She was raised into a castle. Lily was a princess all of her life. And so we really finally find out that that Regina ends up going to this alternate reality, and she actually steals a lamp and gets Aladdin to send her to where Emma was. After a bit of turmoil and convincing, she literally kidnaps Snow and Charming, who are older now, and literally says to Emma that she's got to remember everything, and literally crushes their hearts in front of her. And at first she's all sad and everything, but after a while she ends up snapping out of it and literally coming to and actually realizing what's happening. So, and after that, we really find out that Henry's leading a little armada against the Regina, and literally wanting to kill her for what she did to his grandparents. And Emma, at first, the funniest joke ever, are they really? No, they're not really dead. They're not real. So yes, because of that, we do find out that it's really, really kind of weird. They do get out of the alternate reality eventually, and they do send the evil queen somewhere where she cannot hurt anybody. She cannot die because we find out that after Dr. Jankel and Mr. Hyde attack, like the their friends, like Dr. Jankel attacks his friends and Hyde as well. After they kill Dr. Jankel, Mr. Hyde dies as well because if you kill the original, because we do find out that by killing the original person that you split off from, you actually end up kill the second. You kill the other half, the other half of you, which is the bad half. So yes, so basically Regina ends up finding, after a little bit of contemplation through season 6, we did find out Regina does send her evil half to the alternate reality where she can be happy with Robin. After finding out that Robin is still alive and bringing him to the storybook, he realizes that he doesn't belong and that him and the evil queen get along much better than Regina, and she realizes she has to let Robin go because he's never going to fall in love with her like she did a long time ago. Like he did a long time ago, and that he's not Robin entirely. But yeah, what ends up happening, we do meet Aladdin and Jasmine, and we saw their whole backstory, that Ariel comes into play, and that she and Eric have a plan that she can actually get Eric to actually persuade to help Jasmine with an army to defeat Jafar and to take out everything that he has. And literally, she actually believes that Aladdin is the savior because he can save all of them. But yeah, really, in all the past tense I've seen in the past, like all that stuff about basically the happy ending of season 6 was really good. They do end up finding Agrabah eventually. Jasmine and Aladdin do, and they actually admit their feelings for each other after a while. Literally after that, after defeating Jafar, admitting their feelings, they do find Agrabah and are transferred there. And literally live happily ever after. So it's really a nice thing that happened for them. And Jasmine and Aladdin, apparently Aladdin was a savior. I'm sorry, I can't talk. But he really was a savior, even though Emma was a savior too. So there are multiple saviors out there. And apparently find out that he was brought to his knees, apparently by something that all saviors have. I can't remember what it was, but I just think that they were all brought down by it eventually, which rendered them powerless, something like that. And really, the show really went on well with season 6. And midway season 6, we do meet the Black Fairy, and we do find out she is Rumpelstiltskin's real mother. So that means no wonder she left them with Peter Pan. Oh, you are a terrible mother. I'm gonna scream. But yeah, guys, it really says a lot about the entire TV series. Now, season 6, they do defeat the Black Fairy, and her curse is soon lifted. After that, we see this season 6, the biggest fight ever, the big battle, something like that, I guess. And Emma does defeat it. Like, she ends up remembering after the Black Fairy is defeated and killed, everything sort of goes back to normal. Emma remembers, and Gideon is trying to kill her. He ends up killing her, but she doesn't die. And then everyone lives happily ever after. Emma and Hook are married, and everybody lives happily ever after. But then we find out at the beginning of the great battle or something like that. I can't remember what it was. This is how you know I haven't been watching Once Upon a Time in a long time. But what ends up happening is that we do find out that at the beginning of the episode, I think the second episode, part 2 of it, that the little girl and the boy and the man who was with her, who was her father, we do find out at the end of the last episode of season 6 that the little girl is Henry's older version of Henry's daughter. And this is where everything went downhill for Once Upon a Time. Forever, guys. I'm sorry, I just don't want to do it. And basically, we enter the era of season 7. Season 7, oh my god, holy lord, was it terrible. I know probably some of you guys are saying like, oh, it's perfect. It was a beautiful TV series. Okay, that's your opinion. Okay, guys, that's your opinion. But I don't like it that much. It's really not that good. I just want to say that it's just not my favorite season. Season 7, if you don't know, guys, is where we continue this Once Upon a Time series, but in a different light entirely, because basically it's just continuing the series, but just in a bad way that I can't even fathom. Because it basically isn't like the alternate reality thing I was talking about. We're an alternate, like Cinderella, an alternate Snow White, probably. An alternate reality of basically fairy tales, and is another reality, another realm of fairy tales. Apparently, there are multiple realms of fairy tales, but they're also in alternate realities of life. Like Cinderella's trying to kill her prince. That's a new twist I never heard of. I thought cutting off the toes thing was bad, but really, guys, it's really kind of a terrible season. I only watched one episode and it was just pitiful. I just didn't like it at all. The dresses were new, the outfits, the change of scenery, and the new like logo for Once Upon a Time is kind of good. But like this whole background screen I have is the logo that they had for season 7. I don't have a thing against a black Cinderella. I really don't, but I just don't like it that much. Season 7 was kind of the most disappointment Once Upon a Time was brought, because they basically just took away everything that made Once Upon a Time so special from the beginning. They basically took away Jennifer Morrison entirely. She kind of quit on us. She quit Once Upon a Time, and that's just the worst part. And even the kid who played Henry, I think he quit. Well, he only came out for only one episode, which was the beginning of season 7 in the first episode, and then he just left. I guess the kid left. He had better things to do with his life. But yes, the main character who started this premise off with season 1 through season 6 quit the TV series. And the rest of the main cast is still here, of course. But some of the main cast is still here, but still, season 7 just literally blew me up in flames. I just don't like it that much. It just took away from the entirety of the series. Like, I know they needed some new story to put it on, but where were the other characters from the Disney freaking films? We already saw many other classic princesses and all the other ones we could think of, but seriously, where is Rapunzel? Like, I know I heard of like Mother Gothel in there, and she was like raping Hook. I don't know how you can rape a man, but I don't know how. Basically, she used him, but yes, they took away Storybook. They're now in Seattle. If you take away Storybook, it's not Once Upon a Time anymore. The whole premise of the entire story was basically the main character, the blonde girl we all know, Emma Swan, and Storybook. They just took that all away. They basically just had her car, like, in the opening of the first episode, under that bridge. We're in Seattle. If you see the under the bridge, like the whole King Kong thing looking mold thing, I think, we do see Emma's car in that mold. Sure, the little yellow beetle, but really, it just doesn't add up. I don't like it that much. It's just so terrible. Sure, probably some of you are saying, "Oh, Sarah, you're wrong for that. It's the perfect TV series." Yes, Once Upon a Time was good from season 1 through 6, but I refuse to watch it. If Once Upon a Time continues this little bad era of life, I will literally quit watching the TV series. They already canceled Bates Motel, which was up in flames already, and basically other TV shows that I watched was literally just demolished and gone. And true enough, guys, Once Upon a Time hasn't really been doing good in like movie and TV show terms. I don't like season 7. I will never watch it. It just doesn't sound that good. It just doesn't have that storybook flair we always been watching. And basically, if you all don't know from anything, besides season 7 being a disappointment to our lives, or my life for that matter, most of you probably don't like the season 7 either, or you do, or you just don't. But besides Once Upon a Time being a great show, there's been actually a spinoff to the TV series itself, which kind of brings us into the premise of the other TV show that was going on during Once Upon a Time, which was Once Upon a Time in Wonderland. which was a really good spin-off TV series for Once Upon a Time. It really says a lot about the TV series. And if you guys don't remember the guy Will Scarlet, who we all ran into once or twice, and he was with the Merry Men. He ran into Emma once or twice in his life, and literally was during season 4 we actually just see him. We actually caught him red-handed season 4. Seriously, how did you all miss him? He's literally right there with his big attitude and his drinking problem. But seriously, guys, Once Upon a Time in Wonderland was really the great TV series, like spinoff to Once Upon a Time. It was taking place during Once Upon a Time and really has a lot going for it. And I actually loved it. If you want to know Once Upon a Time in Wonderland was, it's basically with Alice and all the characters from Wonderland, excluding Jafar. But really, and Cyrus. But then again, it really has a really good story for it, and the characters are pretty amazing. The story and the backstory of Alice's life and everything. If you don't remember Tim Burton's version of Alice in Wonderland, basically the whole story is kind of pointless, but it's still stuck to the story, and like the same thing goes for Tim Burton's Alice in Wonderland. It's just like that. Just like all that, and it just basically it's just like what happened in the movie. But we're gonna talk about Alice in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass, the movie as well. So yeah, basically, if y'all don't remember anything about Alice Kingsley is a young girl, probably 18, I don't know, and they never tell her age. I never know how old she is. She is a young woman, I know that, but age matters, people. But still, Alice grew up like in the TV series here. In the movie, yes, she did grow up in England and she did live there. Is almost every fairy tale I ever read about Alice in Wonderland is basically based in England. What is up with the British? Why? Because they're so proper? Nothing against British folks, but why? I know their movies are amazing and that people who set their movies in England, their TV shows and movies are amazing, but I just want to see some more American, like mixed in with the British, probably. I don't know, but yeah, Alice was same thing goes for the movie in Tim Burton's version. She was born in England, and she was to be like properly engaged to some guy, but in the TV series, like her father was like picking a guy for her to marry and all that stuff, and she was refusing after losing her so-called fiance Cyrus, who is a genie. Once Upon a Time in Wonderland really gives a lot of backstory. The story's kind of the same. Like if you don't remember Alice Madness Returns, guys, yeah, basically if you don't remember Madness Returns, it's just like the story of that, but it actually has less malice in it. It's just like Alice Madness Returns is just like the movie Alice in Wonderland, where she slays a Jabberwocky in a very horrific manner. And just like in there, she slays people in Wonderland as well in Once Upon a Time in Wonderland. So yeah, sorry guys. But the story's kind of the same, and the characters are kind of the same. The only thing I just don't get, the story is interesting. Alice is basically the same as she is going to be a feisty young girl who believes in this imaginary world, and she has a lot of friends to help her along the way, has a very handsome genie who she's in love with, but the only thing that's different between this entire story and Tim Burton's version is the Red Queen's backstory. Now, the Red Queen is an interesting case, guys, but yeah. In the Red Queen story, we're gonna analyze it through Once Upon a Time's version and like the Disney version that Tim Burton had made for both movies, The Looking Glass and the original Alice in Wonderland. So basically, the Red Queen's backstory, for all we know from Tim Burton's version, is that basically for the Red Queen, in that version, she was born royalty, and she had a sister named Marana, who she disliked for some reason in the movie in the first beginning of the first film. And we never knew why that she disliked Marana, and that her sister somewhat liked her still and loved her, but still was mad at her for liking her for some reason. And somehow she was mad at her for like she stole the crown from her apparently in Alice in Wonderland for some reason because she was the oldest child. And apparently, if you don't know in history of any royalty at all, the firstborn child, who's the eldest child, gets the crown. That's just the rules of royalty. That's just how it goes in the real world. That's how it is. But it also, they don't call, in Alice in Wonderland, they don't call it Wonderland, they call it Underland. The only reason that Alice calls it Wonderland is because it's wondrous, it's amazing, it's full of wonder and magic and everything like that. And it's wonderful. But yeah, you may be thinking, oh, the Red Queen's backstory is not that much, we don't have much to go on. Well, thankfully, Alice Through the Looking Glass, Tim Burton's second film of Alice in Wonderland, which is the last film, by the way. It may be, I don't know what Tim Burton's doing. Basically, in that second film, we get more insight to the Red Queen and the White Queen's past. Basically, they were both, just the same. They were both born into royalty. They lived in a kingdom called Wit's End, and where they were going to be rulers of Wonderland someday. So basically, what happened was all because of one little lie. Marana, who is the White Queen at the time, who was the White Princess, as you want to call her, not that TV series I'm talking about. No, she was just a princess. They were both little kids, and the Red Queen's name is Elizabeth, which is a mouthful to say, by the way. So Elizabeth actually was they were both being blamed for eating other tarts when they weren't supposed to after literally an argument over the tarts. So what happened was Marana told a lie and said she didn't eat the tarts at all, and that her sister got blamed for it. So Elizabeth was like upset for being blamed for something she didn't do. So she tripped and fell on literally concrete, which would have killed her. But I guess in Wonderland, you don't die that way. It just swells your head up like freaking madness. Like, I know that something there like madness, just swells up like madness. So, but yeah, I guess it can happen to you too if you like. I almost had a concussion and it hurt like hell. But yeah, she hit her head and her head started to swell up. So that's where she got the big head problem from, and it started swelling bigger and bigger. So we get to many years later when they're like teenagers, they just come of age. I guess 17 and 18, because that's the age when I guess princesses come of age. Princes and princesses come of age. So yeah, what happened was basically Marana got her crown first, and everyone was happy for her. Even her sister was happy for her. But when it came to the Red Queen's coming of age ceremony, everything went sideways. Basically, this is where everything, like the whole off with your head thing, came into play. Basically, because of her incident when she was a kid, like her head growing so large and everything like that, and her anger problem, when the crown was being placed on her hair is in the shape of like a heart when you put it on her face and her hair mixed together. She looks like a heart. So basically, the crown broke, and the Mad Hatter started laughing, and then everybody started laughing, and this is where her anger lashed out on everybody. And because of that, like her mother said, why you can't stop people from laughing, and everyone's like, put it back on your head. And basically that's where the whole off with your head thing was about to happen. Like, she was about to say off with your head. And after her father seeing all this, like literally was upset at her attitude and everything like that, what she's doing, he finally declared that Elizabeth would not become queen, which he went after their father's death, that Marana would become queen, and Marana didn't even want it, and she was complaining, and Elizabeth was like so mad that she literally, her head grew like bigger and bigger, and she literally was not happy with Marana for lying and not telling the truth. Because she didn't tell the truth, this happened to her, and literally, if Marana had told the truth, the Red Queen probably would have become a bad tyrant of a queen anyway, but she probably would have been a happy queen. You never know. You'll never know. But then again, the story gets even better. She stole the crown from her sister after getting the Jabberwocky, literally stole the crown from her sister, burned down Wit's End, literally took the crown that her sister dropped from her. And after literally Alice comes to Wonderland, she defeats the Jabberwocky, and the White Queen gets her crown back and arrives with this band of the Outlands. But then again, her sister, after literally apologizing for lying about the tarts, she literally asks for sister apology. They get an apology, they get a hug and everything like that, and they're finally reunited together to come back together. But yeah, But yeah, the Red Queen, her backstory is really amazing in Tim Burton's version, like the whole going back in time thing and all that stuff. Time travel applies apparently here too. It applies in freaking Wonderland as well. But yeah, that's just the Red Queen's backstory in Tim Burton and Disney's version. Like I said, still owned by Disney, just a spin-off TV series. And on the side of basically Once Upon a Time. Basically, it takes place during Once Upon a Time because if you remember when Alice and Cyrus and the White Rabbit go to Storybook, basically the whole town is there. So basically, it takes place during the time of Once Upon a Time. And we do see that Emma's car at the beginning of the first episode, Once Upon a Time in Wonderland. We do see her car, and we do see the characters in Once Upon a Time. So yes, guys, yes, that is definitely what is happening, and that definitely shows a lot about Once Upon a Time. But yeah, let's get to the Once Upon a Time in Wonderland's version of Red Queen's backstory. Basically, the Red Queen was not born to royalty at all. She actually she grew up in a nice rich family, but she chose to leave all of that behind for Will Scarlet, who was a thief in the Merry Men. He stole a looking glass, and they jumped through that and went to Wonderland. At first, everything was going bad and everything like that, and they weren't complaining that much. Soon after that, they went to a ball where they stole some outfits and looked nice for everything like that. And really, they actually stole these outfits. And then after a little encounter with the king and the few talking, and the Red Queen's name is Anastasia instead of Erasmus, which is better to say because everyone knows the name Anastasia, guys. Yeah, but still, what happened is that Will and Anastasia were kicked out of the ball after being found out, and their invitations were frauds. And the outfits were stolen and everything like that. So when they got kicked out of the ball, Anastasia decided that they should go back home, but not empty-handed. So they went back to the palace and literally she tried to steal the crown jewels, but got caught by the king. And after a little bit of persuasion, the king persuaded her to take the crown, and literally was basically just manipulating her to the point where she wanted to become queen. And after she said yes, literally broke Will's heart and literally became queen through marriage to the Red King after being persuaded by money and power and being something more than just a peasant girl to a freaking thief. So yes, really guys, says a lot about the freaking life of the Red Queen. The Red Queen story backstory is kind of off in Once Upon a Time and Tim Burton's version, but it's kind of accurate in Tim Burton's version because their story is actually real. Like I said, Once Upon a Time sometimes sticks to the story, at the same time not. But they did stick to the story Once Upon a Time in Wonderland somewhat. But like Alice Madness Returns, it's just like this. Except Alice didn't have a love interest. Or Jafar was never in this story. So yeah, but the TV series is really good. Once Upon a Time in Wonderland really is a really good TV series. And I loved all 13 episodes of it. Yep, 13 episodes, guys. But it was a really good 13 episodes. A lot of backstory, a lot of cool things, a lot of parts of characters we probably haven't met. I don't know when Once Upon a Time in Wonderland. I think 2013 is when it was around. The end of the best Doctor Who TV special ever. And literally, Man of Steel was the best thing of the time. 2013 was the golden age of movies and TV shows. Literally, I loved it. But yeah, guys, if you all want to watch Once Upon a Time in Wonderland, it's literally on you can go watch it on the ABC app or literally just go online and watch it. I really recommend you guys watch the TV show Once Upon a Time and Once Upon a Time in Wonderland because both are really good and both are really one is it may be short but it's really good, but it also has a lot of action, a lot of amazing sword fights, and really says a lot about it. But yeah, basically the villain, I gotta say, out of all this stuff, based from talking about it for almost feel like an hour, basically the story of Once Upon a Time is kind of off at times, but it's also very amazing. The villains are pretty cool. The outfits are to die for. I love the outfits that are going for the characters, and literally making the story so much better to watch, but also having a lot going for it. It really is the best. And I gotta say, I do love the heroes a little bit more than the villains, but the villains are pretty cool. Their magic's awesome. The special effects are the bomb, I gotta say. Like any other good TV show that's successful right now. Like there are other TV shows that are successful right now, and many of them have been canceled. Some of them have actually been pretty good. But I gotta say, this one, most of the time, takes the cake. Out of all this, the villains are cool. And guys, if you all didn't know, I really wish that Film Theorist would do some videos about Once Upon a Time too. He does a lot of videos over there as well, and I know that I'm trying to get people to go over his channel because he's so successful, yeah. But I wish that some of you guys who are Film Theorists would come over here to me too, because I am doing some reviews as well. So, yeah. But the video really does a lot for itself, and really the characters, the TV show says a lot about the characters, and it says a lot how Once Upon a Time's directors put a lot of effort and work into the characters they literally bring to life, and especially the costumes, the makeup, the effects, the cool acting, and also it says a lot about things that we watch on our TV screens. So really guys, I love the characters, and I love that they put a lot of effort to like bring some of the characters from other movies that we love as children, and from books and movies and from other TV shows to life. Like Frozen, that was a big thing for us, and like people loved Peter Pan, they loved Selena, they loved the Frozen part of this, they loved the new villains, they loved all the Black Fairy stuff, and some people actually do love season 7. But yeah, guys, bringing all these characters to life, including the Frozen franchise, was really good, and I gotta say, it really says a lot. And most of the video games that we play are basically based off of the TV series. But yeah, guys, I really gotta say, this movie review was really the best one. This is only the first one, guys. I will do some more later on tomorrow. But for now, I'm gonna do some, maybe do another one tonight. But I still am saying, guys, really, if you all, whatever kind of thing you like about the TV show, just leave it in the comment section below. And most of all, guys, if you all have suggestions of TV shows, movies, or books made into films that you all want me to do, just type them in the comment section below, or send me something on from Twitter or Snapchat or whatever I have on here. Yes, if you all have my Twitter down there, you all can send me like tweets of what kind of movies you want me to do down there. So like and subscribe to this channel if you all are watching, and watch my videos. But mostly, guys, this is just the first of my movie reviews. I will try to do some gameplays later on in this entire YouTube life that I have. And really, guys, I recommend you all go watch some Film Theorist channels and videos. There are other theory channels out there as well, and even I'll probably do some like scary like childhood theories and all that stuff. Like I'll do some of those videos as well. But yeah, guys, and I also want to do some videos. I want to do a movie theory about these two movies that I want to talk about, which is Insidious Chapter 4 and Jumanji. But if you guys haven't seen it yet, then I won't do the video yet. So tell me in the comment section what kind of movies you guys want me to do for movie reviews, and I'll try and do them. If y'all want me to do some theory videos about your favorite movie, or your favorite book, or even video game for that matter, I'll even double it to make it a video game. Then I will do it for you. And guys, hopefully you will like and subscribe to this video and to my channel as well. And whatever kind of movie you guys want me to do, I will do it. And I won't do some gameplays until I learn how to figure this out about the game itself. But yeah, guys. And hey, that's just a theory, a movie theory. Get it, guys? I just stole Film Theory's like in line of his videos. But yeah, it's a theory. So I will do more movie theories, guys, and hopefully you guys will love this video. And if you can, share and subscribe to this video all over YouTube if you have to. And one more thing, guys, I know you all are out there, like, all your small channels, like, getting cut because of demonetization, all because of this one little thing about big YouTubers. Advice: do not try to hurt your favorite YouTubers. They didn't do anything wrong. They're just making a living like you guys are. But yeah, just a theory, guys. I will do movie theories in the future. I'll probably do one later on tonight. But yes, guys. I will see you all later, and I hope you enjoy this little meme that actually I pulled up from one of these things on Google. But yeah, guys. So, and tell me in the comment section if you all love Once Upon a Time, if you all will watch the TV show. If so, I definitely recommend you go watch the TV series. But yeah, guys, I will start doing movies as soon as you guys send me your thoughts and comments below. So I will see you all later. I'm Sarah from Sarah's Theories, and I will see you all in the next video.